startups, entrepreneurship, starting your own new business. Join me every week as we dive into stories, topics, and advices from the top founders, innovators, the crazy ones, the misfits, the troublemakers. Every Saturday at 4 p.m. I'll see you there.
What are your remarks on Pakistan? How do you, looking at the scale, the population, the technology penetration, so much has happening. Where do you see this country going? How can we help it? And what do you suggest that we do to make it better?
I wanted to mention about corruption, because here you see, I heard, you solve this one by paying that one, you solve that one by paying the police and so on. This is what I heard around.
What would you suggest to them, that how can they improve things around them only, so that can start a cycle? Because I will go in my own grave. I believe in my own religion, and what we're taught from beginning is that.
So if you are consistent, if you are self-confident, and you know what you want to do, then the environment follows you. People comply with you.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to another amazing podcast it's amazing because we're with a very special guest today. Someone who is now very dear to me, but is also very dear to my dad, and he's a very good friend of his. Today we have Michele. How do I pronounce the last name?
Michele Orzan.
From Italy, but now he lives somewhere else, so we're going to discover more about him. But briefly introducing, there's so much to know about him, but the main thing to know about him is that he is one of the sweetest people I've met. And just hanging out with him, talking to him really makes you learn more and more every day. Every conversation teaches you so much more about the world, about him, about his culture, and he likes to learn as well. So he spent 4 or 5 days now in Pakistan. And so we're going to learn more about Pakistan from him, what his experience is so far, and also about him. So thank you so much for your time, Michele.
Thank you very much for the invitation. I'm really happy to be here.
So I'd like to start off from where you're from. So
Okay.
You've told me this story so many times, but every time you tell it to someone else, there's like so much more coming out. So I'd like to listen to it one more time.
Okay, I'm from Italy, northeast of Italy, a town on the border between Italy and, at that time, Yugoslavia, now Slovenia, which is kind of 150 kilometers from Venice. That one you will probably know.
Okay.
My family was Italian family, but I went to school with a minority of Slovenian people in Italy. So I studied everything in Slovenian. So that's why I speak perfect Slovenian too, beside my native Italian, and I got even Slovenian citizenship.
Awesome. We even have your Slovenian song now. We're going to put it in the podcast.
That was Serbo-Croatian.
Serban, okay. I don't know how we're going to edit it.
It was the official language of
yes.
Yugoslavia at that time, until the 90s, let's say, 1990. I was an entrepreneur, and later I will tell you the whole story. And now sometimes I'm joking about being a retired entrepreneur, but doing other things that are really, my passion drives me. And I started also working with startups lately, so I will tell you about it.
Awesome.
So my entrepreneurial journey started when I was 10 years old. I was selling lemonades on the street. It was quite a good business.
Wow.
At 12, I was passionate about building electronic devices, so I built a radio. So I said, okay, I start a radio.
How did you build a radio?
And an FM transmitter.
Oh my God.
So I started an illegal radio because it was not illegal, no. But of course, the power and the size was this size, so probably I had only 1 or 2 listeners, my mother probably and the neighbor. So it was not really a success. Later, I started when I was around 16. I made one of the first courses, IT courses in Italy, and we started programming, basic programming, and I started to make some software. I bought one of the first PC in Italy, It was one Italian producer also. I remember that I got the number 16, the serial number 16, yeah. And then later, when the computers became a little bit more mainstream and came up the Apple II, but I could not afford an Apple II. So I got an Apple II as a loan from a friend, and I started to make software for Apple II. So I started selling software for Apple II. But I was not a good programmer, so I took an existing software, modified it a bit, I changed the use of the software, and then I restarted selling it. The big success was an invoicing software. And after many years, I was still surprised that people are still using it after 10 years. It was kind of buggy, so very simple, but yeah. After university, where I studied political science, I decided to start finally the regular business, the formal business, the registered one, not the gray economy or black economy, or the informal, let's say.
Yeah.
And my first business was a mistake. It was a good business, actually, but I will tell you why it was a mistake from entrepreneurial point of view. I started a dealership of Xerox, the copy, printers and fax machines, office equipment. And then lately also Minolta. Minolta was a Japanese company doing the same.
Oh yeah.
They were famous also for cameras, but also office equipment, cameras, laser printers and copy machines especially.
I have one of their cameras.
Yeah.
Here somewhere.
And I was running that company for maybe a decade. Parallelly, what happened that I met my future wife in Italy when skiing, and then and she was Hungarian from Budapest in Central Europe. So I started to go very often there, and after a few months I said I cannot come just for love here. So it was kind of expensive passion, let's say. So let's start a business. I started another company, and that was operation of vending machines. So we were buying vending machines. Coffee, I'm Italian, so expert in cappuccino.
We need a cappuccino video of yours, just explaining what a good cappuccino is.
Cappuccino is fantastic. Cappuccino is a very nice drink. The ideal one is foamy on the top, and it's a third of espresso coffee, a third of milk, and 1/3 of foamed milk.
Wow!
So that's
much foam, because we have very little foam.
Yeah, no. Good foam.
You need more.
Foam,
okay.
Yeah. That's Italians get crazy for a cappuccino. So it's a main. You start the morning with a cappuccino. Some people like espresso without milk, but the other half likes cappuccino. I'm more cappuccino than espresso in the morning, during the day than espresso. Also because for us Italians, the cappuccino is forbidden after midday. A hardcore barista will not give you a cappuccino after 11.
Oh my God, you guys are crazy.
Yeah, why? Because they say that's a morning drink.
You just keep on telling me people won't even serve you stuff. And it's like, oh my God.
Okay, now we have tourists a lot, so it's a bit different. So vending machines for cappuccino and hot drinks, coffee and so on, tea. We were quite successful. Started in Hungary, then I started in other countries, Romania, Croatia, in Italy itself. I was running these companies for many years. In the meantime, after 5 years, I sold my Italian company. So I was had more time to concentrate in Hungary and the other countries. And also because it was two different businesses, totally unrelated to each other. So selling and servicing office equipment, a B2B business, and operating vending machines. So selling drinks. We were selling the drink with automatic machines.
Yeah.
So our consumer was the user who would put, and also customer, but the client was the factory of the school with which we signed the contract.
Yeah.
So it was very different. Who is the client, who is the customers and consumer. So it's an interesting
now it is
situation. Yeah. So the business were very different, and I was half and half here, half there. 1 week in Italy, 1 week in Hungary, for years and years. It means I was passing my nights on the night trains, arriving 7 o'clock in Italy, 8 o'clock I was already working. It was kind of heavy. Until the end, when my partner, which was my ex-wife actually, wanted to sell the company after 12 years, and I didn't have enough money the company became very big, I didn't have money to buy the other half. So I have to choose. Either I wanted to continue actually.
And this is the Xerox part.
No,
or the vending
the,
machine?
The vending machine.
Okay.
Yeah, the other one already sold like.
You sold
6 years
that
before.
okay,
Yeah.
Italy.
We come back to that one because that was one of the mistake that company, and then they repeated also again. So we sold it together because I didn't want to take the risk of having another partner. What about if you don't get along with a new partner? You can risk the whole company. So I was not happy. I was very unhappy to sell the company. But then later, many years later, I say, well, that was a really nice decision, forced decision, let's say, almost forced, but it allowed me to have a second life. And I moved into non-profit.
Yeah.
So now I'm enjoying a lot, helping a lot of international organizations, non-profit, NGOs, social businesses, and foundations all across Europe. I don't rule out I will be back in business. I'm half in business and somehow.
Yeah, you still are, basically.
Yeah. Yes. So let me tell you about the mistakes, because we were speaking about entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
The mistake was the first company, making that company, because I was a dealer of a big brand. People like to, I'm a dealer of a famous brand. I'm a dealer of. You will never become a millionaire by being a dealer, because you are bound by 1,000 strings, and you have to do exactly what they say, the big brand. They have to sell this product in this quantity at this price. You have no choice, which is fine. The fact is that if you sell a lot, and we were very good, we were growing a lot, when you grow, they place another dealer next to you. So go to half, but they have, and then they both grow, and they place another one. And every time you grow, they place somebody next to you.
There's no loyalty with the brand, of course.
Well, that's normal. That's logical 100%. Because they want to sell always more. This is the first thing, which you can maybe open many dealerships. You can avoid staying at the same level by having many dealerships. But the other one is that the value of your company is very low. The value of your company is very low because the brand decides, if I want to sell the company to you, and the company, I don't know, we don't like Saad, I cannot sell it to you, so there's zero. So they decide, if and when I can sell my company. Because if they say, Saad, or they are okay, but they say, Saad, we will not serve you. You will not pay me any money. Say, hey, I will not get the goods for them. So sometimes I say that I'm the second most stupid person in the world, or the most stupid person in the world, because I made the second time the same mistake. So I made another company when I sold the big one, it's a small one, and I was they bought 99% of my company, except one small business line. The reselling of Lavazza is a famous number one coffee brand in Italy. Okay, I continue. So I placed another person, a friend of mine, to run that company. And again, I made the same mistake. I was a dealer of somebody else. Even it was at the whole country. In that case, was Hungary. What happened? That they placed another one, then a third one, and we were growing another one. And I was fed up. The problem is when you are reselling a brand of somebody else, known products, you are actually an employee. An employee, a little bit more paid, let's say, because you get a little bit more money, but you risk your home. I mean, I would prefer to be an employee then. At least you get the same money, but you don't risk your home. So I would never suggest to be a franchisee or a reseller or a dealer of some other famous brand. Build your own brand. When I built my own brand, my company, which I sold to Coca-Cola, actually Coca-Cola International bought it, Coca-Cola Europe investment, and then they merged with the Hungarian Coca-Cola. They wanted to learn everything about vending machines. I sold my brand, and that was millions. The other one was peanuts compared. I sold the other one for a fraction of the other one. So don't be a franchisee.
I have a question. So when someone's starting off and they still need to learn how business works and what kind of a market there is, how to learn, because when you become a dealer, they're teaching you everything also.
Yes.
So is it not good to start off?
Yes, but let's make it for a couple of years and that's all.
But then after that you should really...
Yeah. Yeah. Then make your own. Your brand, your name, your company.
So, like, to start off, if I want to learn how McDonald's really learns,
it's okay.
I would open 5 franchises.
No, open one.
That's all. Okay.
Open one quickly, so we sell it.
And sell it.
You will not sell it for big money.
Yeah, of course not. McDonald's chooses who I can sell to.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. So coming back to your philanthropy and now NGO work, so you're doing a lot. Now you made a private European chamber, which is doing so much, and then you just told me you had interns related to it with who are making papers and researching. So how did you actually get into it? Because a lot of people, when they make money, now they just want to enjoy life. They don't really. In this way, you're really giving back to the society, and you're really teaching people and even countries and startups what to do and what not to do. So how did you really get into this? What really triggered you?
I was always active in the civil society. Also, when I had my company in Italy, I remember when I was a teenager, I made the Association for the Protection of the Nature.
Oh my God.
We were living in maybe 20 members. I mean, friends of my family, friends of my father and my mother, and cousins. But I started there. Then when I was making the software, I make the international user. At that time, we were calling the user groups. We made the General Processor, was the brand of the computer, Italian computer producer. I make a General Processor user group. And so I was getting this software all around, from all around Europe. So again, association. Then I entered the local association of businesses, and I established the youth section. So I was president in my county of the young entrepreneurs in commerce. Same when I was working in Hungary, I joined the business associations, the joint venture associations, the Italian-Hungarian Chamber of Commerce. I was there in the presidency, vice president, and treasurer for a decade or 12 years. So that sector of the activity was always present in my life.
That's awesome.
So working with the others. Why I was following the business side, representing businesses, because business is one of the pillars of today's world. We have the government, we have the civil society, and we have the business. So these three businesses, they should be independent and working, but not subject to pressure from each other. They should be independent and working at the same time, collaborating together. So representing business, it was important for me because business should become more ethical, more clean. Today, it's not really. They're not doing fantastically. So they have money before everything else, which is not good for us, for the future generations, for the environment, and so on.
So what are your... So I've only gotten to learn more and more about you lately after meeting you. And you're in all these influential conferences as well. What are your main focus areas for the world? Because now we went to Bahria Town, for example, you saw plastic and you really knew what microplastics were and what kind of impact they had on society. And that's something really close to you. What kind of areas are more close to you? And then I would really dive into more of your investments, what kind of your focus areas are. How can someone help you?
I'm really active, especially in helping a new generation. So I think the return on investment in terms of time and application, it's higher when you can help young entrepreneurs, young people. So I would say business ethics, business integrity, anti-corruption. We are very active in these fields. Then comes the environment, sustainability, environment sustainability in all its forms. Then a lot, again, speaking about young people, it's youth entrepreneurship. And leadership comes with it. So we are mentoring young entrepreneurs, future business leaders, but also social leaders and also future politicians. And the return on investment, but teaching and showing the way how to be a correct player in the world to young people, it's fantastic because these people can multiply your teaching or your suggestion during their life. and I'm very happy with that one. With good return on investment. If we speak the business language, on in this matter too. So these are the areas that are active, and then connected, because you wanted to ask about startups.
Yeah.
So mentoring startups in the last 16 years, it was a lot, but I never wanted to be involved. So when there's but you are our mentor, or really senior mentor inside, we'll give you 1% of the startup. No. I don't want. It's your startup. Please go on. I help you. I'm fine. I have everything what I need. I don't want. And this was going for 16 years until last year, doing some help in one startup. I fell in love with the idea and the guys. So I made the first angel investment in them. I knew that they needed, because they were bootstrapping. And they told me, okay, now you are an angel investor. Okay, I didn't know. I have a new function or role. So I learned how to be an angel investor. I joined the Association of Angel Investors. We have the local in Central Europe, the Hungarian. We have the European one.
Yeah.
I made some courses with them. I went to the events, European events. And so now I'm angel investor. But
he's an accidental angel investor.
Yeah, exactly. But very specific. Only now I'm focusing only in environmental solutions or environmental.
Of course. No, it has to be environmental and sustainable. It's very important for our society.
But not company have a little bit that they are good to environment. No, people who address environmental solutions. So it's really helping. So the important one, the first one it's called Tour Mix, and Tour Mix delivery. It's a very nice crowdsourced point-to-point delivery service with zero carbon impact. Why? Because it works this way. So they are the testing is going on in Central Europe, in Budapest specifically. For the test, there are more than 1,000, mostly students. They get a notification if there's one package to be delivered from a web shop near their home to let's say a place where they go to university, because they put in the application they usually path of their days, the address of the university, of the football club, of the girlfriend, of the family, the grandmother, and so on. So these students are continuously moving between the places, including Saturday and Sunday, because they go visit grandmother and so on. So 24 hours, 7 days a week, they may happen that there's some package to be delivered on the route when they are going. So they pick up the package and they deliver to the neighbor, for instance. They're going home to deliver to the neighbor. And this package has zero carbon footprint because the person is already going that way. So regardless he's going by bicycle or foot or by helicopter, the package doesn't have any nearly zero. Let's say there's the detour and they make it 2 kilo more.
But almost close to none.
Yeah. It's not true that it's zero, because not all the packages are matched. Let's say they are 95% matched. So 5, sometimes up to 10% are not matched. Nobody's going that direction. In that case, after one day comes a professional
normal
rider. Yeah. And that one, of course, it goes that way. So it has an environmental impact or some carbon footprint, because it may take the bus. It's not zero, even the bus. So a person goes there just for that package. In that case, it's so let's say, but 95%, it's much better than zero.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
No, that's
and
amazing.
the crowdsourcing, it's like Uber. Actually, when I met the CEO of Uber, we spoke about this crowdsourcing, the source. That's why crowdsourcing. We found that the equivalent, like Uber has the drivers, we have the delivery guys.
Yeah.
It was very interesting speaking about with him. The CEO of Uber told me that people are ready to pay the same amount but wait for more time. So if you want to, in many countries, if you use Uber, you will see that you can call a green Uber. It's a special request. It may take more time, but he say if they put the price higher, majority of people will not choose that one. I would, but I know that minority. Majority doesn't want to pay more, but it's willing to wait more.
Yeah.
So interesting. So it was very easy, good input also for us that we have to pay same price like polluting services, but maybe if it takes a little bit more time, whatever, it's fine for the customers.
So that's phenomenal. I mean, really looking forward to it. I'd love to meet the founder when I'm there now soon, because I found cheap lights. So you've spent 4 or 5 days in Pakistan. I know some moments were very tough. There were some places that I took you yesterday, which he loved halwa puri. So I saw him eating chana. Okay, can I add the footage to this? No, I'd rather not. But what are your remarks on Pakistan? How do you, I mean, looking at the scale, the population, the technology penetration, so much has happening. Where do you see this country going? How can we help it? And what do you suggest that we do to make it better?
It's very interesting. Pakistan, as a country, what we were told before, what we read, what we read online, what we I have many times meeting the Pakistani ambassador in a couple of countries, in Switzerland, in Hungary. When traveling, it's a lot of time I wanted to come to Pakistan before. So it was, I checked the list, the 10 most dangerous countries in the world, or 10 less suggested countries in the world for travelers. Pakistan is in the list, which is incredible. When I say to my friend, I'm going to Pakistan, no, don't go, skip it, go anywhere. So everybody, and also on the plane, I think the only foreigner in the whole plane coming to Pakistan. So all the other were Pakistani or overseas Pakistani coming back. I don't know Pakistan because I've been to the city and surrounding here only.
Yeah, you're in
what
Karachi.
I saw in the city in Karachi.
So in Karachi, you saw more than a lot of Karachiites have seen.
Yeah, okay.
So that area and the school, no one's been there.
Okay.
The beach near that. Bahria town, so many people from Karachi still haven't been.
So I saw these differences that you find. I saw the city of imbalances, let's say. The city of imbalances when you see super rich, super poor, and order is missing, let's say. And we were discussing people that have a problem of corruption, which is in my heart, this topic, because we were speaking about corruption, and maybe I can say something special about how to combat corruption in the future. I'm not sure, it's not a solution, but some experiences that really needs to be addressed, because you are a big country with hundreds of millions of populations. You have 4 very interesting, incredible, big and powerful or interesting countries. You have China, you have India, so I cannot even speak about them. But you have Iran, and then you have Afghanistan. It's not big, but it's a problematic country.
It's huge.
Yeah, but number of population is not as big as the others, let's say.
It's still 50 million people.
Okay, so quite big. With these 4 neighbors, also your politics, the geopolitics is strongly, let's say, determined by the issues, by the bilateral issues, the multilateral issues that you have. I think it's not an easy task to run this country.
Oh. And
then you have this country with different forces. We have the military, the religious, the elected government. There is these 3 pillars again interacting in an interesting way with each other. Not easy. So I have many questions and still unanswered, actually. So these imbalances and these differences is something that in the future you may want to address. I don't know, maybe by finding some incredible leader in the future that can move masses. You're still a democratic country, so everything is possible.
Yeah.
Let's see. Anyway. I wanted to mention about corruption, because here you see, I heard, you solve this one by paying that one, you solve that one by paying the police, and so on. This is what I heard around. Hungary where I went to work in 93 and started my company in 94 was a former Soviet bloc country. Next is not Soviet Union, but one of the communist countries, socialist countries next to Soviet Union, part of the Warsaw Pact, equivalent of NATO at that time, the other counterside, next to Russia. My friend told me, oh, you're going there, you make a company, Michele, you will come back beaten, with no money, bankrupt, and crying, and destroyed. Well, everybody say, don't go there, it's full corruption. It was really fully corrupted. Now it's much better. You will not be able to do anything there. So if you don't pay, but I decided I won't pay anybody in the pocket. And what happened, that actually were not even asking me. There are some examples where my friend once asked me, Michele, how much are you paying the custom officers when the trucks of your vending machine come and you have to import from Italy? I say, nothing. Come on, everybody pays. If you don't pay the custom officers, the trucks will be there for weeks, maybe months. You will never have them in your company. Well, I'm not paying. I go there, we pay the custom duties, the VAT. After 3 hours, we have our trucks. And my friend said, no, you don't want to say, you're hiding. I didn't understand him. He didn't understand me. He thought that I'm lying. After a couple of years, I told him, you know why you are paying? Because you're ready to pay. I'm not ready to pay. What happened? That they don't ask me money. The custom officers, corrupted, expert in corruption, very expert in corruption, they corrupted the whole life. They see in your eyes and they understand, okay, this person better don't ask. And actually, they decide not to ask me. And actually, they are right. They are fantastic. Because they perceive it, the fact that if I am asked something, I will, instead of paying 100 euro in their pocket, I will spend 3,000 euro of my company to send him to prison. And they know it. They see it in my eyes at the beginning, so they don't ask. So I was never asked for 12 years or 15 years. There I was never asked any single dollar equivalent there. It happened only once that I was indirectly asked. I was in Italy that week, and my assistant called me. Michele, there's one official of the local government who said that we didn't pay the tax and have the local permission to put the big banners. We bought some real estate and it was for rent, to let everything, and we put a big yellow banner across the building, but we didn't have any permission. Allegedly, it was subject to a local government permission. But he said if we pay equivalent 100 euro in his pocket, he will backdate the request, we will pay the minimal fee, and everything will be okay. He want to talk to you. I said, no, I don't talk to insects. I closed the communication. After 5 minutes, I called her back. I say, well, do this one. I told her and I give her very precise instructions. So she called back the guy. After say, man, please come, sir, come back to us. We want to solve the question. Okay, she was in my office and he was in my office too. I was still in Italy. And she asked him, so what's it all about? And can you summarize? How can we solve it? Blah, blah. He said, give me 100 euro. I will write now the request. I will backdate 2 months back. You will pay the peanuts there, the small tax, and everything will be okay. And she told him these exact words that I instructed her. Sir, this conversation was recorded. Now we lock ourselves in this office and we wait for the police. She couldn't even finish, and choom, he disappeared in 0.1 seconds, never came back. We didn't get the fine, and for 10 years we didn't have any local inspection. Probably he went back to the colleagues and say, don't go there, let's go there, they pay. So this was the result. So if you are consistent, if you are self-confident, and you know what you don't do, then the environment follows you. People comply with you. So I don't say that in an incredible, difficult environment it's impossible. But when it's a milder situation, you can push the environment following your ideas. And it was a very good example. They never came back. Nobody else, not even his colleagues. So now, how can you start like this one? Well, I don't know. In some sector of the economy you cannot, but in some other sector, I'm sure that you can. Of course, it comes together with the policies, government policy to give good wages to the officials, because if they have no money, there's no other possibility. Yeah. But you know what happened? We are going a little bit speaking freely, but what happened in one country, Georgia? In Georgia, there was one famous president. It's a presidential republic, so not prime minister has the power, but the president. You may know him or heard it. Was his name was Saakashvili, and together with a very young minister of economy and other government, the minister of economy was a girl, 27 years old, a girl from Georgia living in Canada. Yeah, so a non-corrupted country, a famously non-corrupted country, with good studies, economic studies, MBA. And he told her, come back to your country and help your country. And she came back. So they make a big surprises. One day they fired all the police department. Why? Because they said that we cannot change 10% of police every time. Because in order to enter the police, families were paying the recruitment section of the police. So if one policeman would enter the police, was already part of the corruption, because his family just corrupted the selection department, the human resources department. So there's no way to change. So they fired from the head of the police to the last policeman in the street. They had no policeman for 2-3 days in the streets. Nobody knew that it would happen, this one, so it was a big surprise for everybody. Fortunately, nothing happened. They had no problems. They start recruiting new policemen, and they have the organic corruption. Let's say, 10, 20, 30%, whatever, it's the corruption, but not 100% anymore. And they made the best result in the world. So some NGOs that measure corruption, like Transparency International, very famous international NGO measuring corruption, say Georgia had the best improvement in the world. Okay, they were starting from here, so the improvement was here. They're not the best, but if you see now all the statistics regarding Georgia, they are between the best former Soviet republics, together with Estonia.
Yeah. So we are kind of running out of time, but if I just ask you this last question. So now corruption is something that, of course, we need a leader for. It's a long process. I mean, it's not supposed to be long. On paper, it can be very short, but it's a long process. On an individual level, if I am asking for guidance, if one of the startups is asking for guidance, if a random individual who knows English and doesn't know anything about startups or corruption or anything is asking for guidance, what would you suggest to them that how can they improve things around them only, so that can start a cycle? Because I will go in my own grave. I believe in my own religion, and what we're taught from beginning is that we can only do how much we can. But we should do the most we can, right? So if I can just move a stone from the road, that's all the power I have to do it. So what do you suggest that we should do? That is something different than what we're already doing. We already give so much charity, as you know. The huge hospitals we already run. But for some reason it's still not working.
Well, the individual has the power because he convinces other people. You can move one stone, but you can convince me, come with me, and tomorrow we move 3 stones, and we can call our friends, and we start a movement.
Yeah.
My father told me, even if you do whatever you think that it's right, Michele, and even if you're the last one, the only one, do it anyway, because you will find eventually somebody else. One of the yin and yang, the Chinese yin and yang explains everything. You can use it in 1,000 situation. This is one. You will be 2, then 3, then 5, then eventually you will not be you can be the majority, but start the other one. It would
Right.
be another change. But so the good exists because it's bad is also there. If not, it wouldn't exist. So it wouldn't be no different between good and bad. Good and bad will always exist. But you can be the driver for the good.
That's beautiful.
And don't stop. And even if you are the last one or the only one, go on and bring other people next to you.
So just be consistent, be confident, and have faith
Yeah.
in improving that you can really make a change. Thank you so much for your time.
And thank you very much. Adam.
If anyone wants to connect to you, should they ping you on LinkedIn?
Yes.
If you think you can provide value to him and he can provide value to you, of course, please talk to him. He is an amazing connector himself. He's seen the world. He's going to how many countries now? 20
Around
more?
100.
100 more countries.
Yeah.
So he just did his last country in Europe, 47?
49.
And now he's going all around the world. So he's going to Australia, New Zealand, right now to Thailand and Indonesia. Oh my God, so too many countries. But if you also want to be like him, if you want to really learn from what he does, he has amazing knowledge and an amazing network. So please do connect with Michele, learn from him, follow him, and there's so much more that the world has to offer that we're still not exploring. We're still stuck in our own Pakistani bubble or a Karachi bubble, and we have to get out of that. So again, thank you so much for coming
I
to
have
Pakistan.
one last word.
Yeah, of course,
it's
please.
Pakistan Zindabad.
Pakistan Zindabad. Thank you for learning that, and thank you for coming again.
Startups, entrepreneurship, starting your own new business. Join me every week as we dive into stories, topics, and advices from the top founders, innovators, the crazy ones, the misfits, the troublemakers. Every Saturday at 4 p.m. I'll see you there.